if your background is in real estate, whether it's commercial real estate or residential real estate, being that COVID shined a spotlight on our industry, we are starting to see a lot of investment dollars from larger capital groups as well as other people that may want to exit a different type of investment and get into the RV space. What I can tell you is that it's not passive. I mean, it's a very active business. At least the types of parks that we're running, such as family destination parks, you have businesses within a business.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of Business Ninjas. I'm here today with Sean Vidrine. He's the CEO of 4 Points RV Resorts. Sean, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, excited to have you. So Sean, why don't you start and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I started investing in residential real estate about 15, 16 years ago. Bought a mobile home and fixed it up on the weekends, and after work was working a regular job and just continued to do that, and started investing into individual houses, single family real estate. Then started buying mobile home parks. So that kind of transitioned over a period of about 10 years. And then about 4 or 5 years ago, bought our first campground and, continued to go in that direction. So I've been having a lot of fun.
Wow, that's fantastic. So, you mentioned buying your first one a few years ago. How many different resorts do you have now?
We currently own 6.
6. Tell me a little bit more.
Yeah, so we bought our first park in Mississippi, and we have recently started buying other parks over the last 4 years. We currently own 4 Jellystone parks. We are located in the Midwest, Illinois, Iowa, Indiana, up in the Northeast, and Pennsylvania, and down in Mississippi. We are currently looking for more opportunity in the South as well, in Texas and Florida. So, we're growing at a pretty rapid rate, and we're having a good time along the way.
That's fantastic. And, it's a great story. It sounds like starting as a hobby to, now CEO of owning 6 different, RV resorts. I think that's fantastic. So I imagine that growth, like you said, it really took off for the last 4 years. The last 2 or 3 has been COVID. So what did COVID look like for you?
COVID certainly shined a spotlight on the industry. I mean, the industry was doing really well prior to COVID. We got into the space prior to COVID. But whenever COVID came around and, it really limited what people were able to do as far as leisure and recreation, campgrounds certainly were positively impacted by that. And we're still seeing strong trends even post-COVID. So I think the industry is going to continue to see growth regardless. And we know that we're recession resistant that we've seen in the past. And now we know that we're pandemic resistant. So really good space to be in.
That's fantastic. And is it only RV, sites, or do you also have some camping sites as well?
Yeah, so all of our parks offer RVs. As far as like sites go, you can pull your RV there. You can, rent an RV and bring it there. We also have cabins. We also have glamping units as well, like glamping tents, which is really popular right now. But all of our parks are really designed for family destinations. So we have general stores, we have water amenities, we have things for kids to do. We have a big activities list, food and beverage offerings. So whenever you come and stay at our place, there's no really need for you to have to leave.
That's fantastic. That's really great. And I imagine too, that activity list is great for parents who, are looking for a little bit of a break themselves as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, one thing that I can say is that whenever you come with your kids to one of our parks, you can turn them loose, give them that activity schedule, let them go have a good time during the day while you relax or even enjoy the activities with them. And you can get a good break if you want to.
That's fantastic. And do you tend to see mostly families staying at the 4 Points, resorts, or is it, kind of talk to me a little bit about that?
Sure, we do see a variety of customer type, but we really do focus on the demographic of family with small kids. Like I said, we have 4 Jellystone parks in our portfolio. So the Yogi Bear, the Cindy characters, Boo Boo, Ranger. I mean, it's really focused on family with kids because it's, one thing that I really, enjoy about what we do is getting families outside, getting the kids off the tablets and getting them off the iPhones, get them outdoors, get them actually doing stuff with their family and experiencing the outdoors. So we really focus a lot on, that age group.
And you mentioned, Yogi Bear's Jellystone Park. What are some of the other ways that, our 4 Points RV Resorts is really able to stand out from its competition? Because I think that's a unique kind of, area to grow in for your guests.
Yeah, so I mean, in addition to doing what Jellystone has to offer as far as what the franchise does, as far as the characters and the activities and the themed weekends that they offer, even in our non-Jellystone parks, in addition to that, we put on music festivals. So we'll do like a music festival for the weekend. At some of our other parks, we've also done some at Jellystone where we're bringing in bands, some national bands, whether it's country, whether it's rock or whatever. So we are really doing things to really reach out to maybe a demographic that doesn't know what Jellystone is particularly, or, maybe bring a new different kind of customer into our other parks that may not have already gone there before. So we're really trying to appeal to a wide variety of people.
And I'm curious how you're able to pull in kind of a different demographic, because like you mentioned, people with RVs, but it also sounds like too, you want to pull people in that don't necessarily have an RV. So how do you work to pull in, that different demographic and, encourage people maybe renting an RV?
So one ways that we've been successful in doing that is, number one, social media, and Facebook is a great marketing tool. And obviously we can buy Facebook advertising and really target a specific audience and a specific location. So we, our return on investment dollars from that standpoint, from that type of marketing has been very successful. But really what we try to drive is letting people know that, hey, you don't have to have an RV to come camp here. We have lodging. We have these different types of lodging units, whether it's a cabin, whether it's a glamping tent. And again, we really try to feature our amenities. That way, if you want to drive, an hour and a half to get out of town, get out of the city, and you want to come out and just experience the outdoors, we really make sure that we're driving that message, letting people know that we have different accommodations to offer rather than just one specific type.
And I'm curious to pick your brain, Sean. By the way, I think that's fantastic, pulling people in who, like you said, get the kids off the tablets, get them outdoors, and I think that's a great way where, you're able to introduce maybe people to the outdoors that don't necessarily want to camp in a tent. So kind of that balance between the glamping, and the RVs as well. So I'm curious to pick your brain a little bit though. Do you tend to hear any common misconceptions about maybe, entrepreneurship, owning a, the 4 Points RV resort? Anything that you tend to hear often that isn't necessarily true?
Well, one thing that I can tell you is that if your background is in real estate, whether it's commercial real estate or residential real estate, being that COVID shined a spotlight on our industry, we are starting to see a lot of investment dollars from larger capital groups, as well as other people that may want to exit a different type of investment and get into the RV space. What I can tell you is that it's not passive. I mean, it's a very active business. At least the types of parks that we're running, such as family destination parks, you have businesses within a business. You're dealing with reservations, you're dealing with food service, you're dealing with retail, you're dealing with activities, you're dealing with housekeeping. I mean, it's a wide variety of things. So there are RV parks out there that you can purchase that are designed to be a more passive investment, but it's a totally different product or investment type than what we're doing. So I think a lot of people that are used to, passive investments such as storage or things like that, it's a lot less active than what we're doing right now. We've seen people come into the industry and like, whoa, we didn't realize this was going to be this much work. So we're going to go back to doing what we were doing. So there's certainly that for sure.
And it sounds too like the more you put into the engagement, the parks, the more return you see on your investment.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. Well, Sean, I think this has been a terrific conversation. As we start to wrap up, is there anything that you want to leave our listeners with, whether it be, about the 4 Points, about, RV parks, anything in general that you want to leave our listeners with, advice?
Sure. What I can tell you is that I think that the campground industry is going to be around for a long time. We're going to continue to see demand. I think it's a very, very good industry to be in. You meet a lot of great people. And one thing that I find is very unique about it is that We may share customers with other campgrounds in our market, but not necessarily our competition. And we can really help each other. I haven't seen really anything like that in any other investment type whenever you're competing in different markets. And I would also say that anybody that wants to come out and check out a 4 Points park, go to 4pointsrvresorts.com, see where we're located, see what we have to offer, and come and spend a weekend with us. And I hope you enjoy it whenever you do.
That's terrific. Well, Sean, this has been a great conversation. I appreciate all of your insights, telling about the growth. As as a parting note, is there any plans for, growth in the future?
Absolutely. We are currently working on engineering and design plans to add more amenities and more lodging options at all of our locations. And we are also looking at acquisition opportunities.
Fantastic. Well, Sean, like I said, thank you for an insightful conversation. I think this was fantastic. And, I appreciate you being on Business Ninjas today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, great to have you.